I was fascinated by this. You were challenged to try to set some boulders that you could do and Adam Ondra could not. Arguably the greatest rock climber in the world. What was your takeaway there? Where did you identify, or what did you identify to be Adam Ondra's weaknesses?
Well, it's definitely. I think I hit it. It was right on the spot, really. What I was trying to set, I just didn't really. I wasn't able to force those moves well enough. Like I probably set those three bowlers in 1.5 hours or something. So I didn't have a lot of time. But mantling one hand, he's not that good at in. It's not a move you do very often in climbing, like a pure mantle without feet. Usually there's some way you can cheat it or you use your feet or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wait.
No.
Zero triceps power.
So that's one move that I knew he was not so strong in, and then it's also just doing a clean like one arm pull up. So on one move I set like a 360 with a just a clean pull, and he did struggle a little bit with that move, but it was just a little bit too easy. I should have set it a little bit further away, and then I think it would have been hard for him.
Yeah, on that one, he was kind of able to match a little bit on the top of the hold and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and, and make the
Yeah.
reach. He did send those two problems that you set, but kind of found a workaround, right? He threw
Yeah.
that classic Andra high heel hook, which is kind of mind-boggling, I think, for people who haven't tried that kind of thing. I mean, the amount of strength that it takes to engage the leg and do a heel hook like that is pretty
Yeah.
impressive. But he kind of cheated the route.
Yeah, he did. But that's fine. I mean, that's part of the game. So, um, but I mean, I have climbed with Adam over the years, so I kind of know his strength and weaknesses. He doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, but definitely like it just goes to show that doing a bunch of one-arm pull-ups and stuff, it's not necessary at all for climbing. Also, Will Bosi is not that strong in like pure upper arm strength stuff. Um, just have crazy strong fingers and be really good at climbing. That's what you need.
Yeah, I was really
Um,
fascinated to see because like towards the end of that video, you all hopped on a hangboard. I think it
mm,
wasn't quite a beast maker, but it was
With
close
endurance
enough
and
to
Yeah.
power anyway,
to
so.
um,
Yeah.
play around on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That was like 4 seconds or
in the
something.
lock it feels a lot better. That was a
Would
good
have
fall.
been.
That was a
At least I'm
serious-
trying hard, you know?
Yeah. You were on it there.
Yeah.
Adam, although yes, obviously he has very strong fingers, he doesn't have like mind-blowingly strong fingers. He wasn't hanging the small edge like you were able to hang, or like many
yeah.
other climbers are able to hang. So what is
Mhm.
it about Adam Ondra? What is it about his strength or how he climbs that makes him the best in the world without on any kind of single
Mhm.
objective measure being the best in the world? All right, y'all, just a quick minute here to shout out today's sponsor, which is Scarpa. Oh, I'm so psyched. My very first pair of climbing shoes and approach shoes were by Scarpa, and I have loved them ever since. I'm so grateful that they're supporting the show here. Y'all, whether you are smearing granite like Amity Warm, towing into steep pockets like Maddie Hong, bouncing from volume to volume like Nathaniel Coleman, or tossing crazy heel hooks like Alex Puccio, Scarpa has got you. They have been making the best footwear for peak performance as well as sustainability since 1938. They are here to take care of your adventures. You can shop the entire collection at scarpa.com. Scarpa, no place too far. Let's get back to the video.
I think it's a lot about how he's moving, the movement, like how he stays close to the wall, how he's executing every move. He's done it so many times, and I mean, he's climbed at such a high level. He's done so many hard moves in his life that it's muscle memory. I think it's really hard to say exactly what it is. It's but it's just yeah. If you want to get better at climbing, you just need to climb a bunch, and that's he's proof of that. It's not enough to just have really strong fingers or really strong arms or being really good in one thing. You have to just be really good at climbing. It's its own thing. Because there are a lot of people out there that are stronger than Adam when it comes to hangboarding stuff, campusing, even like doing stuff on the campus board. Um, But when it comes to climbing and executing hard wall problems, no one is better than him. So yeah, I think that's proof that climbing is more complicated than we think. I think in all aspects of life, we like to simplify things, but it's more complicated than we think. And
Taking that Adam Ondra example there, if we take a look at a week in our life and we have 4 days that we could either be training or climbing, where do you think the distribution is best with regard to I could get out and climb all 4 days, or I could be on a hangboard all 4 days, or some sort of blend? What's your perspective there?
I think it depends on what you want. What do you want from climbing? Do you want to be able to send a really hard project, or do you want to be able to do every single route of one grade in your gym? Do you want to be like, what is your goal? I think that is the most important thing. And then it's also, depending on your goal, is to find what your weakness is. Is it finger strength? Is it upper arm strength? And also, do you need to improve that? If you just want to send your hardest route ever, it's better to be really good at something than to be very diverse, If you want to do well in comps, you obviously need to master everything. So you want to work on your weaknesses. But for climbing, and if you want to find some really hard project outside, it's almost better to just be really freakishly strong at one aspect of climbing.
Yeah, that is such an interesting perspective, and it certainly resonates for me as I'm trying to work on like the hardest thing I've ever climbed. It'd probably make more sense for me to just be on the project all the time because I can learn the specificity of those moves, but then I'm not working on my weaknesses. And is that something that you try to balance? Do you work on your strengths and your weaknesses?
I try to work on my weaknesses just because I like to on-site a lot. I like to do things quickly, and I enjoy all parts of climbing. But I think that also when I look back at when I trained for even comps and stuff, I should have been more specific, should have trained harder, like climbed more. I wanted to do all this training that just made me tired for climbing, but I should have just climbed and be rested for climbing and focus more of my energy on climbing, climbing hard.
What are your weaknesses now, would you say?
I think still slabs, and also
Forget slabs.
coordination.
Just forget them.
Everyone says that they're bad at them anyways, but I do think that I'm pretty bad at slabs. And it's also coordination stuff. I'm good at doing that stuff if I have a few attempts, but doing it first try, I'm terrible. And that also goes back to me being negative and doubting myself. I think if I was more optimistic, and I think if I believed more in myself, I would do it quicker. But I always, when I look at those things, I'm like, oh, this is impossible. And then I start trying a little bit, and then like, okay, well, maybe it's not impossible. And then eventually I do it. But if I could just get on the wall with that mindset that, oh, this is actually not too hard for me from the first try. And I try to tell myself that, but there's always that inner demon that tells me, no, you're not going to be able to do this. This is way too hard for you.